Welcome back to the 8:30 show. If you like our content, please feel free to like and subscribe. So, we're here today to talk about Dr. Greer's groundbreaking National Press Club event, a convention that took place June 12th, I believe. It's a disclosure project where they're volunteering information about our favorite thing, UFOs, the government.
Yeah, yeah.
They are unfunded, and these are all volunteers. They have people, high ranking people in the government that are whistleblowers and are giving them this information. It touches on a lot of things. It was very interesting. It's 3 hours long, and I thought it was great. It was great information. Some people go on there to share their experience. And I think I'm surprised that people aren't talking about it. It's just a very few number of people that are discussing it anywhere. And it's being thrown out there on TikTok of all places. Because like I said, once hits your algorithm, but I don't see it. I haven't seen it on Instagram at all. Not at all.
I haven't looked for it on Instagram.
Still haven't seen the one, the Vegas one on Instagram either.
Yeah, I haven't. Again, I haven't looked for it either on Instagram. I seen it on YouTube. Dr. Greer's, of course, is on YouTube.
Yes.
I have seen some stuff that's come up in my FYP page on YouTube for that, where people are kind of discussing it, but it isn't like flooded. But then again, it could be the algorithm isn't flooding me with that because of what I've watched in between that time I looked at that.
So they had this conference and they gave a lot of information that 145 top secret facilities, 752 whistleblowers and counting, some are deceased, 121, and as of that conference, 122 crash retrievals. And they have government documentation from like Deep Throat, and that's a thing that's real. It's always been real, but it just sounds funny. And they won't disclose whoever. Not a lot of people are willing to come forward, because once they come forward, they take everything from them. They take their business, their fortune, like all their money, and they leave them like dust in the wind.
Ridiculed.
Well, not
like
just
Randy
no.
Quaid.
Well, not just ridiculed. They take everything.
Yeah.
Anything that's material. You own a house, it's theirs.
Yeah.
You got millions, it's gone.
What is it? Government forfeitures.
Yeah. And people have been threatened, and people have been bribed, and some of these people have not given in to these briberies or any of this. And there's a group of people, according to Dr. Greer and others, that they're doing deep, black, shadowy
compartmentalized
stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
And that excuse me, even the person in the government that takes care of the black funding doesn't even know what's going on. Now, what kind of shit is that?
It's above their pay grade.
No, it's not. It's not even above their pay grade.
You get what I'm saying? Like, it's on a need to know, and they're not in the need to know, and they're already black ops.
Dr. Greer he threw a warning out there, basically saying, you guys got to do something. It needs to happen. Something needs to happen. And you only have a year. When did that clock? There's a clock too. They talked about a clock, and where does that clock begin and end? And where are we in that clock right now? It was just a lot of information.
You know, that part where he talks about the clock is ticking, basically. I was like, well, okay, what happens when the clock strikes zero? You know what I mean? He's in the beginning of this video, you know, he I don't want to say monologue, but that's kind of what he does. He gives a monologue.
Yeah.
And he discusses these things, and he says these things, discusses these things. He's got like presentation slides, where it's like bullet point references
Yeah.
for all these different things that he's talking about. And
I
it's
did a
just,
couple pages of that, but
and
go ahead. Sorry.
I just thought it was like when he said that, I was like, what happens when the clock strikes zero?
Yeah.
What happened? What's then?
When
What's next?
it a year from now, but when a year from now, like the date that you did this, or before that, or
January
after
1st.
that, July 1st. I'm curious to know this clock and what's going to happen when the clock runs out.
Yeah.
They talked about a lot of stuff, I want to say too, for me, the most interesting was the fact that these people are running this backdoor shadowy whatever, right?
Yeah.
But they are creating man-made UFOs because they're still unidentified. They're flying and they're
He
objects.
stuttered that out.
Well, yeah,
But I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
and like
I'm
it's
warning
kind of
here.
like I said, it's all very. It's a lot of information to take in and a lot of information to dissect just on his speech alone.
Wait, hold on. So the man-made UAPs or UFOs, and the other thing that I found interesting was that these aliens, extraterrestrials, that they're not hostile, that they're actually friendly, and their concern is us. They're
Yeah.
concerned for us.
And see
And
that what
this
makes
is what
me
I was
think
saying before, that we're over here. Oh my
We're
God,
the
that
zoo?
we capture. No, we capture them and we do shit to them. Oh, and then there's the man-made ones. They are robots. They're robots. So what you're seeing out there, and these things that are abducting people, it's not. It may just be our government.
Yeah.
And this is our money, our tax dollars that are being spent on this, going through corporations or whatever. What is it? Money laundering. Are you kidding me?
Well, somebody's got to pay for that $1 million hammer.
Man, come on. It's just crazy at this point. So yeah, the person in charge of the black budget was being shown around Lockheed underground facility or whatever, and they were showing him old airplanes, old jet fighters or whatever, and they weren't showing him the real deal. So
The new
he went to
hotness.
Dr. Greer and was like, what's up with this? Like, have you heard about this? And he's like, yeah, I got the information that you need. I'm gonna let you know what they're doing.
He's like an information drug dealer on UFOs.
Yeah, he's deep
the plug.
into this. And I applaud him. I applaud him and everyone that is willing to sacrifice their lives to get this information out. Unfortunately, the powers that be will not allow that to happen. And I fear for these people, especially for Dr. Greer, because he's front and center. And I appreciate what he's doing for sure.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing that he's doing, because not many people, it's the percentage I feel is still small, but I don't know, that of people that believe in this kind of thing, and we're crazy for believing in it. But I just can't believe that
Excuse me.
we are the only beings that exist in this universe. The universe cannot revolve around us.
Yeah, it's pretty
just-
arrogant to think that way.
Yeah.
What I do want to see is this 1 terabyte of data that he has that he's put on hard drives. I don't. I'll take the press version with the redactions. I don't need to know people's names.
Right.
I just want to see this data. He mentioned about putting it like on some kind of database web version, something. And he's mentioned about the press being able to get it. I want to see it. I want to see this terabyte. I'll send him a hard drive. Just
I
copy
think
it on there.
it was a very interesting 3 hours. They had
I didn't get through all 3 hours.
they had people go on there and tell their experience, what happened to them, and some had illustrated images that they had interesting stories. The one that really got to me was one gentleman. He said, excuse me, he said that he is from Fort Bragg, and that he and his father were very tight, and when he was young, his dad was doing like contracting, that kind of thing, and He met people up there because they're from the South. He met people up there that were in the military. They would go fishing and
Mm-hmm.
hunting and stuff. And he thought they were friends. And then he joined the military, and these same people ended up taking them to some bunker or somewhere to um, to see things. And they saw these monoliths that were floating and excuse me. And they got to see some interesting things, and then they were told to sign an NDA. Mind you, some of these NDAs are like 80-year NDA, which is also crazy to me. That I never thought that's a thing.
Yeah.
So it's a thing. And so they declined to sign them. And what happened next was he went to do his training, I guess. I don't remember exactly,
Mm-hmm.
but he ended up getting hurt. They told him he wasn't fit to be in the military
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And one of the guys that he grew up knowing was the reason that that happened to him, that he got hurt. And then when he tried to reach out to his dad didn't want to talk to him because his dad lost everything. His dad was a millionaire and he lost all of it. They took all of it from him. Everything he's ever worked for or worked on, it's gone.
Yeah.
And it was because he wouldn't sign the NDA, and it destroyed his dad. It destroyed his dad, and it just, destroyed the relationship that they had. They were always together. That was his best friend. It was very sad. But
Did you say why he didn't sign the NDA?
I don't recall. I don't recall him saying why. I think he thought it was just, who are they going to tell type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought it was a very sad story, but that's not the only. They've destroyed people's families. They've destroyed people, their lives, and they don't even care because there's a bigger picture. There's a bigger agenda that they have. And it was very revealing what he said, what they all said. One of them basically was saying that he was in, I keep saying Vietnam, the Philippines.
Yeah, that was the second speaker.
Yeah.
Where he talked about he was put onto this I think recovery operation to, and it took place in the Philippines, and because some natural disaster kind of happened and they got deployed over there, and what he ended up encountering in the jungle on his way to do this whole mission was pretty wild. Just
Yeah.
what he saw, and then the whole experience of what happened as as his whole little outfit has been spotted.
Yeah.
And he's saying like, no, these weren't like Philippine guerrillas, the militiamen type military. This was us.
They were American.
This
That's
was
what he said.
us, but they were blacked out stealth, all high tech new gear, stuff that I know about, but we can't get because it's just not cost efficient for the regular military. So they got this super deep black ops, highly advanced, technologically equipped outfit with a spaceship behind them. Just chilling like, yeah, we just out here chilling in the jungle.
No, they were doing their reconnaissance, and
Yeah,
they
they were doing their
interrupted
thing,
it.
but that's what I'm saying.
They
They were just
interrupted
chilling.
it and got caught, and they didn't know what to do with them. They talked about smoking them.
Yeah.
Should we smoke them? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But let them go, and then they took off in their little fucking spaceship that we paid for. That we fucking paid for. They
With
were
the tinted
American.
windows.
They were American. So
But that's what I'm saying,
That's the only
like-
reason I say that it must be our tax dollars.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they were whatever they were doing in their mission. I mean, of course, he's not privy to know what they're doing, but in their little operation. But they roll up on them. They're just chilling, doing their thing, and they're like, "Oh, you're not supposed to see this. We're deep in the jungle. What
Yeah.
we'll just kill you guys, and your mission was a failure. You guys died, and
And
somebody happened."
how many times has that happened?
Yeah.
How many times I wonder?
We'll just
It's
disappear you.
Well, that's what they do. They abduct us and they experiment and do whatever they want in the name of alien
Yeah,
slash UFO.
that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. My bad. My bad.
I'm talking about
I
this
went on
secret.
tangent like that.
I'm talking about this
I'm a
secret
little irked about this.
military inside of our government
Mm,
that this military man was talking about. They just off you, disappear you.
yeah.
Oh, you were in the military, yeah, but you encountered guerrilla militia in your mission, and no one else, no one. There's no survivors of your outfit, and really, it wasn't even that. It was them hanging out in
But
their
that's what I'm saying.
in
Like,
their all black
how
outfits.
many times has that happened?
That's what I was talking about.
Oh,
Like,
I know. I know.
um, and I'm sure it's not the first time that that's been done where people have rolled up on them while they're doing it. And what if it's just regular citizens or citizens of these countries that they're in?
They don't care.
No,
They don't care.
it's all hush
Apparently,
hush.
it's just, I think, honestly, in my opinion, they
Mhm.
were saved because they were military. I think had it been us, we'd be dead.
Yeah,
Because,
nobody's gonna be looking for you.
yeah, but because they were military, they're like, all right, we're gonna let you go.
Yeah.
You one of us.
Well, I think because it's military, it won't be such a unsolved cold case. They'll have to do so. A whole military outfit's been taken out. Okay, why?
I've seen too many movies to hear him. Some they died in the line of duty.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah, but they would know who killed them. They would do an investigation. They'd pull. Let's pull up the satellite. What happened?
No. Well, yes, but what I'm saying is Deep Shadow is gonna come in and be like, oh yeah, this was an incident. We're just gonna call it line of duty, whatever.
We can't disclose what really happened.
Yeah, and it
Uh-huh.
it goes up to who knows how high it goes up to, and they just cover it up.
But you know what it
This
makes?
has been an entire cover up anyway.
Yeah, but you know what it reminds me of?
Mm-hmm.
Fox Mulder, the X Files.
X-Files.
Maybe we need to go write an X on the chalk mailbox somewhere.
Well, according to Dr. Greer and his disclosure project, there are 60 to 70 civilizations outside of Earth. And I believe this because, again, we cannot be alone.
I don't believe the number, not because I don't believe what he's saying. I don't believe the number because I just don't know. I believe that, yeah, they're more
Well,
than
that
likely.
they know of.
But I'm saying more than likely there's a civilization either more advanced than us or as advanced as us,
I hear you.
regardless.
Yeah.
But as far as how many civilizations there are, that for me that's a little. I can't really, be 100% on board with that part because
Excuse me.
how do you know?
No, I know. I mean, how do you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that hold
How do
a
you know?
question. Yeah.
How do you know it's that number? Like,
No,
why that number?
But I'm saying, what if they know of
Yeah.
that so far they've come across or has been disclosed to them by these whistleblowers. This is as far as they've gotten in the game. You get what I'm saying? So it's not just what we think, like, oh, it's just the Greys. It's probably all these
The
other
reptilians, the
whatever.
Nordics.
Yeah. Whatever.
But you know what trips me out though?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, everything, let's just say 100% everything that's mentioned in not only this, I guess, documentary disclosure video, but just all the way back to Roswell, right? Even further back to, Egyptian time where they show these hieroglyphs and things. Say all this is true.
Mm-hmm.
How come we ain't seen nothing? Like, how come there hasn't been any actual landing somewhere in a major metropolis? It don't have to be on the White House lawn. You know what I mean? The cliche. But why haven't we seen anyone, like a substantial amount of civilization, what I'm saying, a
Like
major.
V.
Yes. Even Independence Day, where the ship comes and there's a lot of people that see it. It's undeniable.
No, I get that. I'm waiting for that on my drive in or home,
Is that
into work or on the way home. I'm waiting for that spaceship to just appear.
that's what I'm saying.
I get it.
Why haven't there been like real, and of course they say the Las Vegas lights, right? That was a mass reporting. But it's the video is so dark you can't really see anything. Yeah, you see the lights,
I'm
but
pretty
it's
sure that
like
was man made at this point.
but whatever. Whether it's man made or not man made, what I'm saying is, how come we ain't got nothing in the broad daylight where there's a large population that can see it and a large population sees it?
Because they haven't used the false flag yet, or isn't that what it's called?
Yeah. Or
So
is that what is that what the countdown timer is that he's talking
the
about?
false flag, and something about controlling us. I'm assuming because that's always in the works. They want to control us. That's what people say all the time, like how everyone's conspiracy was about COVID, about 9/11. Every time something goes down, it's
Hmm.
to control us, and then laws change and things happen, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And some of us don't even know it's happening.
Yeah.
Some of us are oblivious to it, and it's like America, yeah, and we don't
Ignorance
even
is
know.
bliss.
Yeah, we don't even know what's going on
Well,
in our own backyard.
so it all leads me to believe into this situation.
No.
Are we living in a simulation? Is this the Matrix for real? Was the Matrix a movie about what really is happening? Or are we living in Marvel, where there is all these other life forms and planets and civilizations throughout the galaxy and universe that we're too dumb to realize? Where is Iron Man at?
Okay, so regarding that topic, I believe we are in a different dimension. I said this to you before it came out, before there was TikTok and anything. That kid that said that we got kicked into a different dimension,
Yeah, I
I
remember that.
mentioned that to you before all of that. And I've always felt that we are in a different dimension, that we did get kicked into a different dimension. When, I don't know when that happened. I just know that this isn't where we're from. I know that sounds so weird, but that's what I've always felt. Like at some point things changed.
All the Mandela effects that people.
Well, I don't want to necessarily talk about the Mandela effects. It's about how I feel
Mhm.
and how things, it's just different. It's just, I've always felt it was different. At some point something shifted, and it just doesn't feel like we're in the dimension we're supposed to be in. That's what I was telling you the other the other podcast. I was like, sorry, other dimension, Dave. But it made sense when that kid, I can't remember his name, it was on YouTube that you showed me the video. Excuse me.
Yeah, I remember
I
the
need some
kid.
water.
I think he's. I don't know if he's truly missing, but apparently, like, no one can find him. No one.
Okay.
He's not posting anything anymore. I don't know how valid that is. I did
Maybe
not
he
look at it.
changed his user ID and password because too many people were like, this kid's right, or who knows what happened. Maybe he
Yeah, it
works for
just.
the government now because he's so smart. But he said that when they cut on the Large Hadron Collider, we got kicked into a new dimension, the one
Mhm.
right next to us. And I believe that that's possible. I believe that it happened because I said it to you at some point before all of this dimension shit started coming up. I feel like we're not in our time. Like
Mm.
we're not in the timeline we're supposed to be in.
Yeah.
Things are different, and things are different. Things are changing, and I don't know if it's again social media showing us just about everything going on in the world, or it's just a feeling I have. I don't know.
I think a lot of that stuff has to do with social media. Not just social media, but just people having the ability to film everything. I mean, you have the ability now to film everything. You're filmed everywhere. You can't go anywhere without being captured on some kind of video equipment, whether it's private or public. Um, there's just, like I said before, the world is televised at this point. Everyone has a device to
Yeah.
record, and they're not like real grainy recording devices anymore. We're talking about high definition, 4K, 5K video camera systems in your back pocket, in your purse,
Yeah.
on your dashboard, on your home,
Yeah.
in your home.
Yeah.
TVs have cameras on them, which I find fascinating that someone would actually buy a TV that has a camera built into it.
Why?
Because
Just
how do you
curious.
know that the camera is not recording you? How do you know that, like, okay, laptops, I get it. You have a camera. Yeah, the
You're
laptop,
working from it. That's what you do
but
now.
but
And then, especially after the COVID thing,
yeah,
everybody uses
yeah.
video chat thing,
And
whatever.
and okay, so okay, let's break it down. Your tablets, your laptops. So let's just include desktops, computers.
Yeah.
They all have cameras on them, and I get why they have cameras on them. But why do you need your TV to have a camera? So, and what I understand about these TVs with cameras, they monitor you so they can drive ads to you. Why do I
I
want that?
yeah. I couldn't tell you that.
It's these devices have been an intrusion into privacy and nobody has realized it. Everybody thinks it's wonderful, and then you know
I don't think they care. I don't think it's that they haven't
but
realized
but
it.
wait, here's
Sorry.
where I was going with that.
Yes.
So everybody has this intrusion device of privacy, right?
Hmm.
And I'm sure if the government has made UFOs that are man-made, like Dr. Stephen Greer has said, who's to say that they're not just listening to every single thing? They already monitor everything as is, and then they deny, deny, deny.
Yeah.
But who's not to say that they're not? I mean, there's a data center in the middle of the country that all of our data goes to online,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me. All of it is crazy to me. All of this. It's fascinating, it's interesting, but in the core of it is crazy. Like, why are we making UFOs and not disclosing them? Why are UFOs being why are we being contacted by UFOs and nobody's disclosing anything? Why are you using energy weapons to shoot down UFOs other than to be hostile and grab technology?
Yeah. Yeah. They were saying how they stunned them to bring them down. I
Yeah.
was like, what?
So what I heard was initially it wasn't a weapon.
No, it wasn't. It
But
happened.
they realized that it was a weapon after it was a radar system that they were using. I forgot what Greer called it, and it had a
It was
scalar.
penicillin all over again. It
was
was
a
a happy accident.
Yeah.
But not happy for the aliens, happy for our evil asses.
Imagine you're the alien just flying in your spaceship, and you see some humans doing some military stuff, and you're kind of like, they can't see me. I'm gonna be right here chilling. What they
Right.
doing? And then all of a sudden, you get hit with an energy beam, and you're like, oh, the controls. I'm going down.
I want to go back a little on how you were saying that they're listening to us and all that.
Yeah.
There was a TV show called Person of Interest
Mm-hmm.
with, I can't remember his name. James Caviezel.
The weasel.
Really, Dave?
I couldn't help it.
No,
That's what
you
popped in
could've.
my head.
He
James
did the
Cav-
Passion of the Christ. He was Jesus Christ.
Oh, that
and
guy, I like him.
yeah, he's a great actor. And Person of Interest is a very interesting show. I've seen it. I've seen it a couple times. I liked it a little too much because it's an interesting story. It's about how they're listening to us, and it's not it's a machine that they've created and kind of AI-ish, and they're like, but they're killing people off that are interfering with the way that it wants the world to work.
Kind of like, what is it? Captain America 2, where they had the whole, we're going to kill everyone who can pose a
Yes.
threat, even if
Yes.
they haven't done it yet in their future.
Yes.
We
So is that the time clock we're on? Like, are we affecting the universe or not the universe, the globe somehow? And they're like, oh no, we're, fake flags or whatever they call false
Yeah.
flag.
It's just
Yeah.
crazy. I look at all this stuff and I think to myself, like, is life being reflected in art, or is art now reflecting life? And that's the real question to me. Like, all this stuff that we see that's supposed to be science fiction entertainment, and then to come to find out that, wait, this may be grounded in some form of reality.
I think that art has just been covering it up really well and duping us into thinking that these things can't be real.
Mm-hmm.
It's fiction and it's not possible and it wouldn't happen to us and that kind of thing. And I feel like it's worked for a long time until now, where they can't control every single thing and there's too much content out there for people.
Everybody's camera.
Yeah, for people to look at and see and think for themselves, is this real or not? And they can't control all of it.
Mm-hmm.
They're losing control of that, of us, in a sense.
Well, that's why I think that's why I think our government, a lot of the times, I feel like our government tries to shut down certain social media platforms,
Yeah.
because it's not that they don't understand it. It's that they want to control the what is it, the narrative of what's being told. And you can't control the narrative if the public is showing the narrative. So
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, back in the day there was only so many channels, and you had,
Programmed.
paid,
You were
yeah,
programmed.
you had paid media content.
Newspaper, news, radio, and television.
Yeah, but
and now it's not
now
like that.
now there's a third option, and I feel like they don't like that third option because there's no way to control the information.
No.
And so the only way they can do it is to slow down these social media platforms. And okay, if you're going to claim national security, you're going to claim that your data is being breached and all yada yada yada. Okay, great. Thank you for trying to protect me. But at least when you go to have these hearings, at least have people up there that understand the technology that they are questioning. You can't go up there talking about fishing poles and who's fishing in whose backyard, and you don't even know how the fishing pole works.
Those people that are up there trying to take it down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about deep shadow people.
Deep throat.
These people can be bought. Now, I'm not saying that they all have been bought, but I'm assuming. This is an assumption. This is not fact. I don't know. I wasn't there when the money exchanged
This is
hands.
all alleged.
Allegedly, yes.
All opinion.
I believe it's something that happens a lot, and they show it in the movies, on TV. Why can't that be real?
And that's
They're
where
getting paid to try to get this thing out by deep shadow.
Yeah.
Get them out. And these people have the power because they've been bought.
Yeah.
A lot of them have been bought. Now, not all of them, but some of them. And the ones that haven't been are on the bandwagon just because it's for their state, county, whatever.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, that's where I was getting to. Like,
Yeah.
is life imitating art, or is art imitating life? Because we seen all growing up, like these deep shadow, deep throat figures on all these different TV shows.
Yes.
But we all know that this is real. This type of thing actually happens. To what extent it happens in, totally different. Okay, that's a gray area. I'm not gonna touch that, but it happens. I mean, the whole job of the lobbyist is that.
Yeah.
And what is deep throat lobbying? You know, is he is this person
They have an
lobbying
agenda.
for silence?
Yeah.
That's why I want to know the clock. And I bring it all back to the clock. The clock is
The
ticking, and
clock is ticking.
I'm trying to figure out, do I need to pay my taxes?
Don't worry, the taxes are paid. I pay stuff. He
Is
doesn't.
it all gonna crumble down the and go down the drain? Or should I just go ahead and continue to pay these taxes? Because
Pay
I
these
don't want to pay
taxes,
these
man.
taxes. I don't want to pay
Better
these
pay your
taxes if it's all
taxes,
coming
sir.
to an end. But
Yeah.
that's all I'm trying to say. But anyway, I digress. I thought the video, like I said, I watched. I think I watched 2 hours of it.
Yeah.
I got to the third speaker that he had on there. I thought it was very fascinating. I thought it was very interesting on what he was discussing, what he's actually trying to disclose. I mean, this Dr. Stephen Greer, I've known for a long time. As far as, I don't know him personally, but I've known of him for a long
Yeah,
time.
so have I, because you and I watch Ancient Aliens, and
Yeah.
that's where he's been on. Like, he's been on there a lot.
But not only that, I've seen other things of
Yeah,
his.
where he's in it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then he's in it. So he's got a reputation as
Yes.
far as being in that circle. You know what I mean?
He's been doing this for 34 years.
Yeah.
Yes, 34 years. He's 68. That's
Yeah.
what I remember.
But
saying.
that's what I'm saying. Like, he's somebody that I don't want to say a person of authority, but he kind of is, because he's done it for so long.
He knows his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
Dear
the best,
Dr. Greer, if I had $50 million for you to create, what is it, free energy for all of us, I would give it to you, sir.
oh yeah, that was the other thing that I thought was crazy, where he mentions all the free energy, the
Free
the
energy.
0 point energy technology, that as soon as people actually create it, that other people have created it,
Yeah.
and then tried to patent it, and as soon as they patent it, it gets shelved, and all their information gets taken by the government. The
Yeah,
boys
they
in
were
black
talking
come and
about
take it.
doing some kind of RICO act on these dark shadow people, because of what they're doing is criminal and it's against the law, but no one knows that this is actually happening. The President Eisenhower lost control of the projects back in his day, and he was quite upset about this situation, but he'd lost control.
They ended up showing him the old
And
planes.
since then, no president has been able to gain control because it's gone. It's done.
Super deep off the books.
Yeah, it's over. It's over, and we'll never know. If we do, probably a small percent will believe it, but the larger percent of people won't, because it's always some like political agenda and the what is it, smoke and mirrors, and this is how they're fooling you. Because I'm watching a lot of these. Some people on TikTok posted Dr. Greer's bits and pieces of his video of the conference, and they're like, this is their agenda and this is them trying to fool you into thinking blah blah blah. And there's a lot of people that are like, it's about time, thank you for the information. Like, they believe it, but there are the other people that are like, you are fools. You're fools for believing this.
Like, okay, for me, I believe a lot of what he said could be true. Without evidence of it, it's kind of, you're taking a leap of faith.
Yeah, but according to him, they have evidence. Sorry.
Correct.
Yes.
He's saying that they have evidence, but until that evidence is actually brought to the light, to the public, you're kind of taking a leap of faith.
Yeah, for sure.
So I do believe that what he's saying could be true. I do believe what people say about UFOs and UAPs could be true. And I want to believe that they're 100% true. And one of the things my grandmother used to tell me as a kid, one person's going to lie about you, but not everybody's going to lie about you.
Yeah.
So if all these people are coming out saying this, then that leads me to believe that there's some slither of truth. whether they understood what they were actually looking at, witnessing, or experienced, or it's all exactly what they said.
Yeah.
And we're talking about everybody. I'm not
Mhm.
just talking about one person. Yeah, we're gonna have hoaxes. Yeah, we're gonna have people that feed off of that for a buck. Like the crop circles. Some people say crop circles are real. Some people say they're fake. Some people come out and say, "Oh, we did it," and blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
But at some point, it was believable. Some of them can't be disproven that a person did it.
Yeah.
Objects in the sky. Some of them are hoaxes. Some of them are very good quality CGI. But then there's those that are like, I don't know what this is. And then you have video analysts and they look at it like it's something. I can't identify what it is, but it's something. Um, so you take all those positives, put them in a basket, and take all the negatives. I feel like there's going to probably be more positives than negatives.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and when you're looking across the entire world society, just looking at America is one thing, but it happens. This is happening everywhere, and that's why I want to know. Back to what he said. When's that clock dropping? Has it already started? Did the clock start on this conference? Did it start a year ago?
Yeah.
When
Can
are
you
we
put the
looking?
clock on your website so I can see it?
Just show it. Yeah, let me get a countdown
Yeah,
to
let me get a
prepare,
countdown because I'm gonna keep it up there. I'm gonna keep it up
because I
because I
need to
want to
know if we got
see
to pay
what's going on.
taxes.
Well, I also want to see, did it speed up? Did it slow down?
Where are we at? Are we at what DEFCON number are we at for
Yeah.
this information dump? But and I see the other thing. I want to see this information. I don't have to have the whole terabyte. Just give me like 200 megabytes. Give me the best you got. Show me the best evidence.
Yeah.
Let me see what you got. But
Yeah.
I for what I understand, I think he's a credible person. I don't really know him, or I haven't really heard anything that says otherwise. Just like another person, Billy Carson,
Yeah.
the stuff that he talks about and the things that he's saying, it's kind of fringe, but it's very very interesting. And this whole situation these last couple of days, couple of well, what month since what May has
Yeah.
been very interesting because you get one thing, then another thing, and now you got Dr. Stephen Greer with 3 hours of
But that's why
disclosure.
I was saying that whistleblower came out. Why didn't he go to Dr. Greer? Why isn't that a part of it since we're having a whistleblower? So I feel it was the whole smoke and mirrors thing.
Hmm.
I don't want to say that this Grush person doesn't know what he's saying or he's doing it for the government, but it just looks a little suspect.
Look
It,
conveniently
it looks,
timed.
yes, because as soon as he came out for me
Mhm.
in my timeline, he came out and then the next day the UFO in Vegas happened and it's like what the fuck? And then all of a sudden I start seeing this stuff with Dr. Greer and it's like were they trying to get the population to look at these two things happening so no one would watch or believe Dr. Greer? Or is
I mean, that
hold
could
on, or is Dr. Greer's whole thing that what did they call it again?
what
False flag.
a false
A
flag.
false flag. What
Well,
is the false flag? Is it going to be the UFO that I'm expecting to come out of the sky on my way home from work? Or is it already happening right now and we're discussing it?
yeah, yeah. Or what if it was just a coincidence? What if it was just what if this is the
Man.
timer that Dr. Greer is talking about, where these things are going to be, you're going to see more and more of this if they don't fully put it out there. That people are starting to come out and aren't caring at this point.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, it's very interesting. It's a very interesting video.
I'm
It's a
so
very
sorry.
interesting
I'm so sorry.
conversation as far as um, what they're talking about, the government inside of a government inside of a government, which we all kind of knew. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't think that there's like some super dark classified group of
I've always thought this.
government.
Yeah, sorry. I've always thought that there was some deep shadow, whatever, but I honestly thought, because I'm naive and dumb, but I honestly thought it was the government. Now it's not. It's not the government. They do have their own deep shadow, whatever, but
It's another level above that.
they're, they're brown and black, and the other one's a black, like,
Fanta Black.
yeah, Omega 17, whatever, whatever they use.
Just look at Skinwalker Ranch when
Yeah.
Bigelow had it.
Yeah.
He won't even talk about, he's 1,000 years old and he can't even disclose what they were really doing. And the stuff that he has disclosed, I mean, I don't know his credibility or whatever, but the guy has an aerospace company that was funded by the
just
government.
Give me the flying car already. Take it to a Ford dealership and mass produce it, and let's go with that.
So
Because you have the technology. They said when I was a small child, I saw
the Jetsons.
Yeah, I saw stuff that told us in 2020 we'd be flying in the year 2000. Man, the way they made the year 2000 look when I was a kid, whew.
It was so excellent.
Yeah, it was all clean, space age looking. You were flying in cars, and and I know a lot of people have seen that kind of thing growing up. If you're around about my age,
You can go to Mars. You can go to the moon.
you can do all these things, and look at where we're at. We're still driving cars on the road. The aliens are looking at us like, still. We gave you guys the technology. What the fuck?
You guys are still burning shit and shooting it out your exhaust pipe,
right? Your environment. What's
come on. Look at
environment.
electric vehicles. I mean, we've had electric vehicles since the dawn of automotive. Dawn.
Yeah.
And we're just now getting.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And you know what? That would be great. That would be great, because I'm over here trying to figure out. Newsom wants, we're in California, Governor Newsom, he wants everyone to have an electric vehicle by 2035. But yet we still have rolling blackouts.
And yet there's still $1,000 billion.
Hold on. If Dr. Greer comes through with the 50 million, somebody comes through with 50 million. Y'all got 50 million. I know you do. Give it to him so that, right? Go fund me for Dr. Greer, because I want that free energy. And then that way, yeah, sure, Newsom can get what he wants. All electric vehicles all throughout the state if we get that free energy. But if not, where are we going to get that energy from?
You know what? I'm going to say this on air. And maybe what my voice will transmit through the waves.
Concerned.
It's nothing crazy. Maybe it'll transmute into the airways, and maybe it'll come to fruition.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to make maybe Dr. Greer or somebody in this whole energy field.
They have the technology.
Hold on. Or in this whole energy situation, make a crypto coin called Energy Coin, and you use the proceeds to fund green energy technology.
Oh, that sounds great, babe.
Yeah.
That sounds really
And that's
great,
where he can get his 50 million. Call it the Greer coin. If they don't shut that down.
I'm going to say a couple things about crypto.
You keeping it crypto?
Back in 2018, David told me I should invest.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. I went into Robinhood. He had me sign up and all that, and I started buying stocks. And then he told me about crypto, to buy some crypto, and I was like, "What? No
way."
No, I'm not doing that. And I thought it was fake money, and I was like, I'm not gonna spend our money on some, what is it?
Digital asset.
Digital currency. I because a stock you're buying from a company, you wear Nikes.
You buy Nike stock.
You use iPhones.
You buy Apple stock.
Yeah. So a Microsoft, all these things, and you have something to show for it, but crypto is just in the wind.
There's no building you can go to. There's no corporate office.
It's dust, right? So I was like, nope. And then he's like, look into it. Trust me, buy it. So I did. I looked into it, and all of a sudden I was covered in gold dust. That's how I felt. I was
Crypto
like, oh,
Bitcoin.
hell yeah, I'm buying. So I started buying. And I didn't go crazy because I'm a regular person who makes regular money. And I'm not about to go and throw all my money, my life savings, or none of that shit into crypto or stocks. But I started buying, and I'd buy $1 here, $1 there, $5, $10, whatever. And I'm like, I'm all excited about it. I was so excited about not just the crypto, but the stocks.
Yeah.
So so I went ahead and I found Doge, and I was like, it's like a fraction of a penny. I mean, are you kidding me? I'm gonna go ahead and buy. I'm buying. And Dave's like, stop buying that shit. You're buying too much of it. I was like, what? No. I wanted to keep buying, but I stopped. I did stop. And everybody on the internet is like, why are you guys buying? It's a waste of time. It's never going to happen. But I thought to myself, it was 2018 when I bought this. And I think
Hmm.
earlier that year, Bitcoin had finally hit the 19th, almost $20,000 mark.
Hmm.
And no one had believed in it. No one, it's been around for so long, and no one bought into it. And then that happened. And at that point, Doge hit a penny. And I thought to myself, if it could happen a year before, why can't it happen again? So I had a few people at work that I would share stock
Yeah.
tips and stuff, but I ended up being kind of good at the stock tips. Um, and then things happened, family life happened, and I kind of let it go because I was heartbroken and I was sad and whatever. And I didn't want to think about that. Money was not an issue at the time, or not an issue, but just something I wasn't really focused on.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
more focusing on picking myself back up, us up. I'm not, nothing between us. It was just family shit. And then everything struck gold. And I had a friend. I have a friend that he would buy. I would give him stock tips. He would buy, but then he'd sell. I'm like, you gotta let it ride. You can't. If you're one of those people that is gonna sell, don't buy stocks, because you gotta invest your money, and it's not for you to constantly in and out, in and out, in and out. Some of it, yeah, if you want to be a day trader and all of that and it works out for you, that's wonderful. But for someone who's long term, or is supposed to be long term, you shouldn't do that. But so I told him to buy Doge. He was just like, are you sure? Are you sure? Look at where it's at. It's like below what I bought it at. And, as
Yeah.
soon as it goes up, I'm going to buy it. I was like, I'm going to sell it. Not buy it, sell it. I was like, okay. So he's like, you're not going to sell? I said, no, I'm actually going to go buy more. So I went and, you buy at the drop. So I
Yeah.
bought more. Not a lot more. I think I spent $11 more. Not a big deal, but $11 is $11 when it's a fraction of a penny. And it shot up, and this dude, he sold it before it even got to a penny. And you see where it's at now, but it was at 0.000, I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
And he had it at that point, and he sold it. And I ever since that happened to him and to myself, because I kept mine and I still have mine, because I didn't sell, because I think to myself, if it happened, the
Yeah.
penny happened once, it'll happen again. And it did. And now we're at what, 6-7 cents, maybe even less.
Hmm.
But I say to myself again, if it happened before, then it could happen again. Now I don't lose anything, because let me just tell you, I only invested a total of $87.
At the
And
time
we're
when it was
talking
so low.
about, yeah. And it was just insane when I saw how you know how
It's
big
gotta,
it got.
yeah, it's gotta go basically to zero before we lose money on it.
Yeah.
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 Yes,
But
I remember him, and that was funny.
crypto, it's still, for me, I'm still holding on to it. I'm still holding on to all my crypto. I'm still holding on to all my crypto. And I feel like if I were to sell it, I'd be that person later on in life, like, shit's worth $1 now, and I'm like, that could have been me, but I was too greedy to hold on to it. Like, I wanted that money, I needed that money, so. But
Well,
I'm still holding it. I'm still holding it.
like I said, with anything that you buy when it comes to stocks or crypto, this is not investing advice. This is just my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, you should automatically think that money is gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're gonna take some profit out of it, great, enjoy that. But that money should be in your mind as gone until you pull some money out of it. Till you pull it out, or you get out, or you pull somebody out.
Yeah, look, a good tip I would say is every time you get paid, throw $25 in there and buy something. Or just leave it in there until you're ready to buy something. If $25 isn't enough to buy stock, Amazon, what is it? Any kind of stock that's over the amount, whatever.
Again,
Um,
not financial advice, just
yeah,
opinion.
that's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I did it every paycheck, and I picked some winners, and I did great.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you can too. Just invest your money. You're going to see it go up and down. Don't panic. That's just what happens. That's the stock market.
yeah.
But invest in your future, because that's what I'm really trying to say. Invest in your future, because Social Security ain't going to be around for a lot of us when we get to that point, and you want something to fall back on, or we're going to be that generation working till we drop dead at work. Just saying. It's not advice, it's just my opinion.
And remember, always remember, according to Dr. Stephen Greer, that clock is ticking.
Oh man.
So you might not have long.
Yeah. It's hot in here.
Yeah, it is. And on that note, I think that's gonna be it.
All right. Peace.
On to the next one.